Welcome everybody here to the Sports Talking Network channel. Welcome to tonight's episode of Steve's Wrestling Ramble. As I always do, Monday and Tuesday evenings after Monday Night Raw, after SmackDown Live, I did my Raw reviews, SmackDown Live reviews, etc. Welcome to check those out when you have the time. Really appreciate if you do so. Also, welcome to smash the like button on those videos, subscribe to the channel, all that other fun jazz. Leave comments in the comment section below. I do appreciate when people do that. Hopefully, in time, our podcast can be winning award because for the second year in a row, Steve's Wrestling Ramble was nominated for Best Show of the Year at the Wrestling Radio Awards. That's took place last week, years ago, and the winner for Best Show was friends of mine, another wrestling podcast, Credo, Cologne, and Cooter winning there, and then also my boy Mounty's Corner winning Best New Show. The awards as well. So some of my friends picking up some awards individually for themselves or their shows at the Wrestling Radio Awards. So hopefully next year, me and my team build something here. Steve's Wrestling Ramble, get a three-peat, or some are calling triple threat, three-peat triple threat of getting nominated again next year for Best Show. And maybe the next time we'll be winning it, or at least going up and up that ladder, getting closer to winning it. I do see my team member Mark Ramble is in. I know he's away doing some other things, so when he's able to speak, we'll bring him on the show. Also want to say ahead of time, next week will be the prediction show for WWE Elimination Chamber, the Raw branded pay-per-view. I still am wondering if I'm planning to do my Raw and SmackDown live reviews next week, because since I don't have to do my Life in Pieces and then my Talking Package with Steve show is done for the season, so to speak, and I'm not coming back until around the NFL draft time for that show. So that's, my Wednesdays have freed up for myself in that way. But anyways, that's the plan for next week. I still 50-50 NFL do my Raw and SmackDown live reviews, but of course I'll be here for Steve's Wrestling Ramble next Thursday with me and my boys and others, hopefully. Predicting WWE Elimination Chamber. Then on Friday, I'll do my Riverdale reviews. And then on next Sunday, I'll be doing live reactions to the first ever women's Elimination Chamber match, first ever men's 7-man Elimination Chamber match. I will do as I usually do, a quick review or longer, depending if people do join in, Sunday night. So if I'm here by myself, as I usually am for Sunday nights, then it'll be quick. If team members are joining or otherwise, then of course it'll be longer to get their thoughts and etc. But beyond that, that's my plans for next week, heading for the pay-per-view week. I see Mark was available. Hope Mark, hope you are doing well. I didn't mean to make you wait, but I did want to ramble on and do some house cleaning before starting the episode. But how have you been in the past few weeks?
First of all, Steve, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, man. It has been one hell of a month, actually. I've been trying to get on here, and all hell has broke loose. I've just been so busy. I've been keeping up. I haven't been putting up as much videos as I used to on my channel, but I'm, still here, still watching wrestling, still doing the damn thing, and I'm doing great, Steve. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, keeping busy. Otherwise, with the channel, also trying to do a little bit more of my other channel, Animated Awesomeness, where currently right now the only two shows I talk about over there that are animated series, Star versus the Forces of Evil and My Little Pony of Friendship is Magic. But beyond that, I'm doing great. I wanted to get your thoughts since we didn't have you on since the prediction show of Royal Rumble. Your thoughts on the Royal Rumble, anything you want to bring up from that? I know it feels like a long time ago, but I just want to get your thoughts here on air. Otherwise, besides on Twitter that we did at that time, your thoughts on the Royal Rumble, first ever women's and otherwise.
The women's Royal Rumble did their thing. I was very, 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 very happy. It was a lot of expected returns. There were a lot of somewhat unexpected returns, and there were a lot of great moments in that match. We have the little small stint they had with Trish Stratus and Mickey, and Sasha Banks almost showing her heel character. I thought it was a lot of good moments, And then to top that, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding the whole Ronda Rousey issue. And I'm going to put my 2 cents in this whole thing. I can see what people are talking about when people say Ronda Rousey took the spotlight from the women's Royal Rumble match. I could completely understand that. And I have no, statement to rebuke that. I in a sense, kind of agree with him, with them or the wrestling fan base. Because, she kind of did, but it was only setting up for her to become a wrestler. I heard she signed a multi-year contract. They could have done it in a different aspect. They could have possibly put her in the match. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I thought the women's match did amazing. I was rooting for Asuka. And to top of that, we have first time the 2 Asian wrestlers win the Royal Rumble and are headlining let's say, in this key, I guess we could say headlining WrestleMania, because Nakamura and Styles, in my opinion, is going to be the main event. But yeah, overall, the Royal Rumble was really good. It was very well put. The Royal Rumble matches were very good. The pay-per-view, I can say, was pretty solid.
All right, and now moving forward here now, right before we get to the WWE Elimination Chamber, with the Raw brand having their own exclusive pay-per-view, they're pissed off on the road to WrestleMania. Fastlane a couple of weeks later for SmackDown Live, before they get back on the road to WrestleMania themselves, which will culminate in April, which hopefully me and my whole entire team will be there for WrestleMania and have a live on-location kind of episode there for the prediction episode at that time. But before putting the cart before horse, what were your thoughts on the Raw, this Raw? Next week is the go-home, but this is the go-home to the go-home. Your thoughts on this past Monday Night Raw?
I didn't see certain segments of Raw, and I'm trying to do a reaction so bad. The part that I was really trying to see, because I heard it was hilarious, was Braun Strowman and Elias, their whole gimmick, their whole deal. I thought, from what I heard, was hilarious. I saw gifs from it. Elias was hitting. Braun Strowman was hitting Elias with a guitar or whatever it was, just like oversized. I think it was a cello. I don't know, but I need to watch that segment. I have not seen it 100%. I've seen the thumbnails on YouTube. I thought the show itself was pretty damn good. I'm not gonna hold you. I really enjoyed watching it, but I didn't get to see all of it. So, Steve, do not spoil it. If there's anything that is worth watching, I have to watch it tonight. But I thought it was pretty solid from what I saw.
Oh, what were you able to see?
I saw the Miz, John Cena. I saw the which one? The Finn Balor match. I think it was the Fatal 4-Way to determine the last spot for the Seth Rollins issue. The whole deal where it eventually ended up becoming a 7-man Elimination Chamber. I do believe. Yeah, I saw that. I saw a couple more stuff, but it was spots that I haven't seen.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask there so I didn't spoil those things in case you didn't see those to do reactions on your channel.
Oh no, I saw those. Yeah, that was good.
Okay, so what are your thoughts then on the build-up for the Raw brand to Elimination Chamber, to the first ever women's, and how Kurt Angle, I think it was last week, if not the week before, just already announcing who's going to be in that Chamber match. Not having Nia Jax actually in the Chamber match. She's going to be facing Asuka one-on-one. If Nia Jax does win, she will be added to the Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania. It seems like WWE is assuming Asuka is going to be picking Alexa Bliss, though don't assume because you know what that can make you. But that, and then with the men's and everything that happened this past week, like you said, you did see with The Miz losing to John Cena, going to enter first. Elias last week winning that triple threat and going to enter last. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor added to the Chamber match, making it a 7-man. So what are your thoughts all on the build-up to the 2 Elimination Chamber matches?
In regards to the women's Elimination Chamber, I kind of like what they did in the sense that Nia Jax, if she were to be put into the Elimination Chamber, it would be obvious that she would be the one to win. I mean, out of the people that they put in the chamber right at that time, if they were to put Nia in there, nobody's going to stop her. Absolutely nobody's going to stop her. So it was a clever idea to give her a match. I do believe it was against Asuka, right?
Breaking news. Yeah, I found some breaking news that isn't really breaking news, but it's breaking news to me. In our Twitter discussion back and forth, and I'll let you finish what you were speaking of, since this isn't like actual real breaking news, just so people that are wondering, don't worry, it's not actual real breaking news of anybody being fired or stuff like that. It's just my personal breaking news. But in our Twitter interaction, we were seeing that Kurt Angle was liking some of our tweets.
Oh, really?
Stephen A was talking about Carmella that was liking his Valentine's Day tweet, which I did see that it was really her that did. But anyways, point being is that I noticed I issued my Jabroni challenge there to Kurt Angle on Twitter, saying that I think he follows like 1,738 people, which is a high amount for a celebrity of any type, whether musician, athlete, otherwise. And I said, well, I would be like an Olympic miracle because, he was in the Olympics as an amateur wrestler. So it's kind of punning. Their point is, I said Olympic miracle if he did follow any of us back on Twitter, just because, he's seen our conversation. Technically, he's part of it, our big thread, the thread of threads, Stephen A calls it, on Twitter and stuff. Point is, the breaking news is that I noticed him. He not only followed me, but I think he actually followed a couple of us. From our conversation.
Really?
I'm trying to see if who else he did from our conversation. And obviously I only see me because it's my account. But I think there are others because if I look at his following number. Showing mine right now. Maybe he's going to do. Anyways, right now. Well, hey, look at that. We got WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle following the Wrestling Ramble, so that's cool. Really appreciate it. I know I've been in contact with him actually because he follows me back on my personal Twitter handle already. That's how I was able to speak with him and actually Bill Goldberg before last year's WrestleMania when I almost had the chance to go last year. But anyways, just wanted to interject that. But continue on. We're talking about Elimination Chamber. Now, do you remember Royal Rumble? The first ever Women's Royal Rumble, I was heading into the pay-per-view at the prediction show. I was saying, this is the easiest way to book things. The smartest way, the easiest way. It's right in your face. A child can book this. You have the women's first ever Royal Rumble match start the show, and you have the men's finish the show. You book on them. You have the two best matches, the two biggest matches, the matches they're selling themselves anyways, for the audience to see as them starting in the show, especially when you're starting with history. Do you think that should be what they should do now with Elimination Chamber, or do you think maybe they should do it again and have the women main event with their first ever Elimination Chamber match at that pay-per-view next Sunday?
That's a hard question. Considering how the chamber is set up, I would want to say yes, but the fact is, more than likely, technically speaking, more than likely they're going to be the main event. But just considering how the cards are stacked, I personally would not put them in the main event. And there's nothing against them. It's just the men, and I'm not saying and not kind of being sexist in a sense. The men, I feel like considering who's in the chamber, it would be the stakes are a lot higher. But in the women's match, like say for example, Asuka was in the women's elimination chamber, and Nia Jax was in the women's elimination chamber. Hell, Ronda Rousey was in the elimination chamber. And if we want to, on a good day or in a perfect world, Charlotte was in the elimination chamber. Okay, now they should main event. It's just they have so much more elements in that match. But with the people that they have there's like still people where they have to build up the character, i.e. Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. They're good wrestlers, but they're not of the stature to be like, oh, crap, that's going to be a good match. unlike the men's match where it's like a ton of people in there, when all of them are like beyond fantastic. And it's nothing against women. I'm not saying women are bad, but it's just a lot more elements in the match. And it's like, oh crap, this might be good. So technically, they're still going to be the main event, considering how much of a push that they're giving the women's division. But in my opinion, if I had control, I would not put them in the main event.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I'd have it being like I would want, well, like I wanted it to be for Royal Rumble with the women's first ever, starting the show here in the Elimination Chamber, and then having the men's at the end. I think a lot more craziness, let's say, whether Undertaker shows up or other superstars show up, whatever, to start feuds with said superstars in this first ever 7-man Elimination Chamber match is going to be going down than stuff that could be going down in the women's. See, I think that's why in the end they decided to go with the first ever women's Royal Rumble, the main event, and the men's earlier in the show was because, well, at the time I thought it was because Roman Reigns was going to win, but I think it was just at the time because in the end, in the men's, the odds-on favorite, especially betting favorite, if you looked at Vegas books, Shinsuke Nakamura winning the Royal Rumble there. People liked it, good, okay, fine, but also was predictable in that sense, as much as Roman Reigns, if he would have won. In the women's Royal Rumble, we've had more returns and debuts. You had bigger moments in the women's Royal Rumble and more surprises in a sense than in the men's, because the men only had a couple of surprises, the number one being the Hurricane. So here in the Elimination Chamber, I think it's roles reverses. I think with the men's first ever 7-man Elimination Chamber match, more things are going to be going down there than in the women's first ever one. So I think this time it'll be the opposite way, as it should be, in a sense of, again, simple way of booking it. Start the show with the women's, end the show with the men's, and you go there and whatever matches you have in between. Now, it's interesting with Elimination Chamber because as of right now, if you go on WWE.com/show/Elimination Chamber, there are only 3 matches on the card. 3 matches for 3 hours. Wow, those are going to be very long matches. But no, only 3 announced matches. First ever women's, first ever 7-man, and Asuka facing Nia Jax. Now we to assume we're going to need a couple more, of course, and one added for the pre-show. Probably will get Bray Wyatt facing Broken Matt Hardy. I would assume their one-on-one contest. Now for the 7-man Elimination Chamber match, how do you think they're going to do it? Are they going to remake the Elimination Chamber and add a pod, or do you think they'll just start off with 3 superstars and still have the 4 others in the pods that are already there?
I think they're going to start off with 3. I feel like adding an extra pod would be too much. It would kind of take some cool spots off. I mean, at the same time, if you really want to make this match like memorable, I guess you can add an extra pod and do some crazy absurd stuff and create some crazy absurd spots within those 2 pods, because I'm sure there's going to be 2 pods that are very close to one another, I would assume. But I honestly think they're not going to take that risk. They're going to go simple and just start off with 3. So if we start off with a triple threat match, and the rules still apply every so minutes or seconds, somebody else is going to come out, and they're just going to do that from there.
Who would you have start off for the men's? Which 3? If you were booking it, who would you have start off with who would the 3 superstars be to start the men's Elimination Chamber match?
No, I would obviously it's gonna be the Miz. Man, I gotta think. Who are the in this case 7? It's Seth, Finn, Miz, Cena. Dang, man, do you know the other 3? I can't think of them right now. I'm having a brain fart.
Oh yeah, you got Seth Rollins, Miz, Braun Strowman, Elias, John Cena, and Finn Balor.
Oh yeah, so it's definitely gonna be Miz, Elias, and
well, you can't have Elias because he won that triple threat match a couple weeks ago, if not last week, to be the last entrant in the chamber.
Oh man, so that takes him out of the equation. So it's probably gonna be Seth Rollins, Miz, and Cena.
Okay,
I can see that.
And for me, I would have The Miz, Braun Strowman, and John Cena.
Braun's gonna come in my opinion. Braun's gonna come in middle of the match. Like he's gonna probably be the third person to come out. No, the second person. I take that back.
Okay. Either way, it's certainly going to be a humdinger of a match for sure.
Absolutely.
For that, hopefully the women can overshadow. Hopefully the women can do even better. Be the number one match, just like they did in the Royal Rumble, outshining the men's. In my opinion, between the Royal Rumble matches, there, hopefully they can do the same here again with another first ever for the women's division now here with the Elimination Chamber. Were you surprised to find out that Nia Jax was not going to be actually put in the Chamber match and that she's having this other match, having this match against Asuka, the undefeated Asuka, with the stipulation of if she wins, she's in the women's title match at WrestleMania?
You know, I am surprised, but I shouldn't be because at this point we know what Nia Jax is capable of. We know what Nia Jax realistically could do. She is like the immovable object. She's the immovable object of our time period, and she is well deserved of at least a title contention run. She has been used right, so I could see her being put into a match like this, and it was smart that they did do it in Elimination Chamber because if you were to put her in the chamber, if you were to make her lose, it just wouldn't seem right with the people that they have already in that chamber. So it is smart what they did on behalf of Nia Jax, and I'm kind of happy and grateful that they did do it like that because realistically speaking, Nia would have not won. They probably would have not booked her to win. And at the same time, I do think Nia is going to win this match at Elimination Chamber. And it may be a fatal four-way for all we know.
That certainly would be interesting to have Nia Jax be the one to beat Asuka, to be that one to end the streak. I know I had that Twitter poll on my Twitter at WWE Podcast where I asked who do you think and believe should be the one to end Asuka's undefeated streak, and the results of that, I think it was 48% or whatever, Alexa Bliss winning that poll. People thinking they're wanting Alexa Bliss to be the one to end Asuka's winning streak, which would mean that Asuka would pick Alexa Bliss, face her off at WrestleMania, and actually lose. I think I'd be surprised either way if Asuka loses to Alexa Bliss or Charlotte Flair, because most are assuming that she's just going to walk into WrestleMania and walk out women's champion, whether Raw or SmackDown Live women's champion. Did I actually have someone of a quote-unquote swerve and have her lose to either Bliss or Charlotte? Now, it'd be more surprising if it was Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair because the pedigree Charlotte has. But either way, with the cachet that Alexa has gained, and I don't know if you've seen, Mark, or anybody out there watching, listening live or otherwise, have seen the collection on WWE Network there of Alexa Bliss from her start to current. And I did watch the whole thing, and I know I mentioned on Twitter of, even rewatching some of her stuff from NXT, her debut, her first match, to that what that character and gimmick was, to then becoming Little Miss Bliss, becoming the Alexa Bliss we all know and love now. They're in NXT, which turned out heel, that tag team there. And then going out on her own, having that great match with Carmella, who was at the time with Cass and Enzo. So she's seen in a way how Alexa Bliss and both her and Carmella have changed and become better in time, but specifically with Alexa Bliss being the first ever woman being SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion and all that other stuff. Maybe she has grown her own cachet, her cachet being strong enough to actually herself being able to be the one to defeat Asuka. Not that, if Asuka faces Bliss, she's going to destroy her and win because Bliss is Bliss and Asuka's Asuka. Where if Asuka faces Charlotte Flair, because not just the Flair name, but how Charlotte has been on her own as a successful WWE superstar that she is and has been, that, there's a greater percent chance that Charlotte could actually beat Asuka, this and that. Well, what they're saying about Charlotte Flair, now I think Alexa Bliss, in my opinion, has grown the cachet, pedigree, and how her career trajectory has been so far, thus since her coming to WWE and part of NXT, that you can speak the same of Alexa Bliss in a sense to Charlotte Flair. Though I still say Charlotte is the best women's wrestler in all pro wrestling, not just in WWE. But even just in the vein of talking about Asuka, I wouldn't poo-poo of Alexa Bliss defeating Asuka if in the end they go that way. But I still think Asuka's going to pick Charlotte Flair. This will all be mutes in the end. And Alexa Bliss will face Nia Jax at WrestleMania. I know Jay's looking forward to that. Host of Talking WWE Jay, a big fan of Nia Jax. I'm sure he would, especially if he's able to be there live with us and so at WrestleMania. To see Nia Jax win the championship there in person, I'm sure would make his day his life.
Yeah, for sure.
But with Alexa Bliss, if he did face Asuka, I wouldn't put it past her. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Bliss retained her title and actually beat Asuka. But anyways, moving on from Monday Night Raw, we'll go over to SmackDown Live and the biggest thing going on there, WWE Championship situation heading into WWE. Fastlane this past Tuesday was supposed to be a one-on-one contest between Baron Corbin and the returning Ziggles, Dolph Ziggler. Winner will make the WWE Championship from a triple threat to a fatal four-way at Fastlane. In the end, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens attacked them because the match was supposed to start off the show this past week. Then they had two individual matches where both Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler won. Now it's a first ever, or not first ever, but a fatal five-way at Fastlane for the WWE Championship. AJ Styles defending his title against Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler. Were you able to see or watch any of SmackDown this past week?
Yes, I have.
What'd you think?
You know, in regards to the whole Dolph Ziggler thing, I do not mind Dolph Ziggler at all. And actually, he, from what I heard, signed a very, very lucrative deal with WWE. And from the looks of the wrestling news websites, it was a deal that he could not resist. He could not walk away from. And I'm assuming he's okay with being a jobber. You know, that's his decision. But the thing I have with this is you can't just throw a man into a match like this and he's been gone for God knows how long. I mean, he came back Royal Rumble and that was about it, really. And then he just comes back again and he just magically gets put into a title shot. And that kind of tells you where the state of WWE is, where they don't, or on SmackDown, I'm sorry, they are struggling in regards to finding who's going to be next to go against, you know, AJ Styles, while at the same time trying to build up for WrestleMania. Because in the eyes of wrestling fans, there are a lot of people who think AJ Styles and Nakamura is going to be the WrestleMania main event. As much as they're not going to say it is, that's what it's going to be. But in the meantime, it almost feels like they're having these matches just to keep the WWE Championship in relevance. You know, that's how I see it. Like, it is almost like every week you get the same thing. And that's, to me, how Raw was a couple weeks ago, like a couple months ago, years ago. At one point, Raw, they was giving you the same thing, and it was, like, repetitive. And to me, that's how SmackDown is right now. It's repetitive. You're kind of getting the same vibe from it. It's not much going on. It's, in my opinion, becoming a little stale. I like AJ as champion. You know, I love AJ as champion. He's my favorite wrestler of all time, really. So it's not even his fault. It's just they don't have anybody to give him good matches while at the same time not trying to use Nakamura. So it's interesting. It's an interesting week. It was pretty good. I would definitely take Raw over SmackDown though, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think really, well, more so for the SmackDown Live side, we're talking about them now. They're just going through the motions, trying to get to Fastlane, get past it, build up for Nakamura, AJ Styles at WrestleMania, because I don't see AJ Styles drop the title at Fastlane. I don't see any of those guys really having a shot of actually winning it, and of course the one with the least chance to win it is Ziggler. But either way, I don't see title changing hands in that match. So I think it's just them just going through the motions. What they need to do, get to Fastlane, get past it there. AJ Styles, Nakamura for WrestleMania, then things are going to go full steam ahead. after Fastlane, SmackDown Live after that, and then the weeks progressing there to WrestleMania and everything. Then we'll be fine. And I think you'll have stronger and better episodes of SmackDown at that point. Out for this week, I certainly would say Raw over SmackDown Live, as much as I am a SmackDown guy. But I'm sure things definitely, hopefully, will pick up after, if not right before here, we get to Fastlane. Now, another thing that I did forget to bring up, at WWE Elimination Chamber next Sunday, Ronda Rousey will be having her contract signing. Stephanie McMahon joining the Raw brand, which is interesting. I don't know if they were going to go free agent or other way with Ronda, but I guess it makes sense. Have her, the biggest or newest star, biggest star, have her on Raw, their flagship show. SmackDown can't have anything nice. They do have AJ Styles and Charlotte Flair, but still, anything new and shiny like having Ronda Rousey. So Rousey going to be on Raw. How do you think that? I know we'll talk about this next week too, but how do you think that'll go down with contract signing with Rousey at the Chamber? Do you think anything big is going to happen, or just going to go without a hitch and she'll just join Raw?
You know something's gonna happen. I feel like you can't have a contract signing, especially with someone of the caliber like Ronda Rousey. And the thing is, though, I got a feeling she's gonna get booed. I got a very strong feeling she's gonna get booed. I don't know why. It may not be a heavy boo, but she's gonna get booed, and it's gonna be almost awkward. But back to Ronda Rousey, with somebody of that caliber, somebody is gonna come and do something. Probably Stephanie McMahon. She's probably the one there where she signs the contract. Where Ronda Rousey signs the contract, probably leading up to a WrestleMania match, which more than likely will be the Mitch tag match. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Something's gonna happen. It's not gonna be all sunshine and rainbows. It's like I said, it's gonna lead up to something, and more than likely, it's gonna lead up to her match at WrestleMania. But they don't know who Ronda's gonna go wrestle with. That's the only issue that they have.
Yeah, the rumor is to have a tag team match: Stephanie McMahon and Triple H facing either Ronda Rousey and The Rock, or Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle. So that's at least the rumor match that's going to be of some kind of combination with Ronda Rousey, whether Kurt Angle or The Rock, facing off against Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. But then there you have your match with Triple H. It's not that big of a deal, a big match. People don't have to, worry about Triple H burying people. He doesn't. From the WWE audience and him being in that tag team match, and really they get Rousey over, whether she actually gets to pin herself on Stephanie McMahon. But either way, that's at least what I've been hearing for rumors heading into WrestleMania for what Ronda Rousey is going to be doing. And certainly wouldn't see it really any other way beyond that way for Ronda Rousey, because I don't see any other. She's not going to be in the championship match, of course, and I don't see any other person to go up against her in a one-on-one match, unless you really want to do a Stephanie Ronda one-on-one. But Ronda being new to WWE in this type of lifestyle would be easier, more protective of her to put her in a tag team match. So I think that probably, again, whether it's The Rock or Kurt Angle, I'm sure they would prefer it being The Rock, only because of that build-up from the WrestleMania in San Francisco, and that segment there with Ronda, The Rock, Stephanie, Triple H. But either way, certainly would be interesting to see how that all brings down, builds up, heading to WrestleMania for Ronda. I don't see anything really big happening during it, as much as, like you said, all contract signings have to have some craziness. But this one I just see going with nothing really hitch, as in anybody coming out or anything really crazy happening, even just between Stephanie and Ronda right there in the middle of the ring in itself. I mean, it's almost to the point of, if it wasn't Ronda, her being the one signing, it could be on the pre-show. But it probably will be on the main show, again, because it's only, as of right now, scheduled having 3 matches for the whole entire show, for the main show. But that's pretty much it for Raw and SmackDown talk. News-wise for WWE, at least from what I found about Rich Swann, mutually parting ways with WWE, so I wish him the best of luck on his future endeavors. What are your thoughts on this kind of finally being official and Rich Swann not coming back and going back to the Indies?
It sucks. It honestly sucks because it's been a lot that's going on. The cruiserweight division at this point is literally at a rebuilding stage. Triple H is in control of it, so I have trust in whatever he's going to do. But we lost a very talented individual. I mean, he didn't have much of a push, but at the same time, 205 Live was pretty much second nature. Considering what happened with him and the whole battery incident and him doing something with his wife, it sucks. It really sucks. But you got to think about it. Rich Swann should have knew, he can't do all that, especially if he's working for a company like WWE. You just can't do all that. It's unfortunate, man. It's really, really unfortunate. But it is what it is. It is what it is. You just got to keep going, keep moving forward. And I know he's going to do well in the Indies because he did before he came to WWE. He's gonna have to adapt to leaving, and I'm sure he will.
And the cruiserweight division has been hit in the past year with Rich Swann and that incident with Neville walking out and leaving WWE and cruiserweight division, I guess, in a sense. And then Enzo Amore in the Enzo Amore case situation still ongoing with him being let go. I don't see him coming back anytime soon. I'm sure at some point in the future, you never say never, Enzo might be back, but not in the next couple of years, at least to me, for that return. So him being let go due to his case. So, yeah, the cruiserweight division kind of taking hits, taking Alice in the sense. Now they're having the cruiserweight tournament. They have a new GM for 205 Live. Triple H now in charge of 205 Live in there, creative, and also hearing Triple H being more hands-on and getting more power overall with the main roster because Vince McMahon slowly transitioning to, keep focus and stay focused with XFL that's coming in 2020. So that's something to look forward to. But what are your thoughts on 205 Live, the cruiserweight division, the future, the tournament? They're having a 16-man tournament that will coincide all the way to WrestleMania. So the cruiserweights don't have a match unless they want to just randomly have a 6-man at Elimination Chamber. But with the tournament, that going to WrestleMania and that going to be having a cruiserweight champion, what do you think of that? And would you like to see win that thing?
When it comes to this tournament, being 100% honest with you, it's so with me. I mean, I tried to watch 205 Live, and I've heard this past couple of weeks has been very, very good, which is a good thing. But it won't gain that much attention because it is so late at night. That's the one issue that they have. I like the whole idea of the tournament. I feel like maybe they're trying to bring it back to the Cruiserweight Classic, which could possibly be the case. But I mean, I don't know. I really am baffled on what they're planning on doing with this. Maybe they're trying to make it seem like the final, the final match of the Classic, but I'm assuming at WrestleMania. It should be interesting. I really don't know who I want to win. I'm just more excited or more curious or anxious to see how it's going to be. If it has those, you got to watch the next week's episode, or, man, it's not worth it. It's kind of dry. It's kind of boring. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I could care less who wins. I just want them to gain that attention that really they deserve because they do some very, very, very great things in that ring.
Oh, they do, and I've certainly enjoyed what's been going on so far. Having a new GM as well, part of 205 Live, having a GM for that show just like they do for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So, making it in its own, trying to build upon that, expand upon that, making it better, have people tune in, give it a chance now, and watch it when they can, whether live or otherwise, on every network, and really see how we'll go moving forward. Now, for me, who I actually want to win would be Drew Gulak. I know I mentioned last week that I wouldn't mind having the finals being Gulak and Metalik, Drew Gulak, Grand Metalik, being in the finals at WrestleMania to fight over to become the new Cruiserweight champion. But if I had to pick one right now, I'd probably say Drew Gulak. I really think he's deserving. I really wonder if WWE was going to have him win. If he was going to face Enzo Amore at some point, and him winning, and that truly breaking up their friendship and this and that. Go on storyline wise and have that feud for a couple of months. So maybe that was in the plans, and now just have to get to that culmination a little bit later at WrestleMania. And why not have it at the grandest show? Have it at WWE Super Bowl at WrestleMania there, the end of somewhat I would call it their season for WWE. So I'm kind of hoping and cheering for Gulak to get the win. But I agree with you. I just want it to be good, entertaining, get more eyeballs to the product of 205 Live. Garner the respect that they do deserve because all those superstars are part of 205 Live are good in their own way. Yes, I do have favorites over others. Yes, as we all do. As fans, we do have, superstars we cheer for and superstars we dislike for some reasons. But all in all, the division of the cruiserweights really is, in a sense, like a cornerstone of WWE because of cruiserweight wrestling and that style of wrestling as well. Kind of history all over the WWE, pro wrestling in general, whether it's main roster superstars and otherwise, and just being a high flying type of style can be cool and entertaining, and not just for the flips and kicks, and not just for the spots. It's not totally a spot fest. They are honing their own craft. They are good at what they do, and they make sure they're the best at that as they can be. So the Cruiserweight division and the 205 Live show hopefully can garner some more respect, get more viewership, and be able to become what I think it can become. As I said in the past, I want the Cruiserweight division to focus on 205 Live, not have to and need to being so much on Raw, but making themselves their own on 205 Live, and maybe it might be slower because of that, but still grow from there, right? Like a Torres and Harris situation. But either way, I think that having this tournament and whoever wins, whether it is Gulak or Metalik or even somebody else, whoever it be, have this tournament just rock out, be awesome, and then culminate at WrestleMania with a kick-ass match that can be put up against any of the other matches at WrestleMania to be match of the night. And that's even saying something, especially we have AJ Styles versus Nakamura for the WWE title, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, Nia Jax, and Alexa Bliss, Charlotte against Asuka, and other great matches we'll have at WrestleMania, and the Cruiserweight Championship match, the ending of this long tournament being put up there with those matches after the show was done, being one of the best of the show. I think really will say a lot for the Cruiserweight division and a lot to where the Cruiserweight division can go on from there to be something and be something great. But for right now, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens when we get to WrestleMania, and hopefully it will be great. We'll have a great finals match for the Cruiserweight Championship. Trying to see here any other WWE news or notes let's be bringing up. I know I have in the title of my video of this episode. I'm talking about Booker T and Corey Graves. They shouldn't pull the wool over the WWE worlds. There was something that we thought was something serious, especially with what we assume with Corey Graves' personality. In the end, just was a bunch of crap. And that being that, what are your thoughts on that? That whole story.
They got me. They got me good. They got me very, very good. I honestly thought there was some true beef going on between the two of them. And the thing was, it was so serious that even Michael Cole got into it. He thought that was from what I heard. I was like, no, let's not do this. Come on, Coachman. Since Coach got here, everything kind of sort of went a little haywire when it came to commentary. I don't mind Coachman, honestly. I don't mind Byron, even though everybody hates that man. I don't mind Corey. I can't stand Michael Cole. I mean, because the thing with Michael Cole, I'm going to go off topic for a little bit. Michael Cole, he is almost, you can almost tell that he's being told what to say. It's frustrating for me too, because there would be very good moments, i.e., or for example, like a return, a debut. You know, AJ Styles is a perfect example. I remember watching the Royal Rumble when it happened, and it just did not feel natural when he was talking. And that's the one thing that makes me mad. The commentary team is very crucial in wrestling matches. Very, very, very crucial in wrestling matches. And my favorite commentator right now is Mauro Ranallo. I can't say his name right. Mauro Ranallo, I think it's right, in NXT. And him and Percy Watson are amazing. Honestly, I love Percy Watson. They feel like they're talking genuinely. They're literally saying stuff coming out of their mouth, not out of what the headphones are saying. Michael Cole, however, it's not the case for him. But back to the whole Corey Graves Booker T situation. They got me. They got me bad. And I was like, no, please don't do it. You know, they're gonna start something that they're gonna regret. Booker T's probably gonna leave or something like that. And then he says it was all a work. And I was like, wow. Wow. Literally just wow. That was definitely got my neck there. And good thing that they're all friends, and they're all, they're comfortable with it. They're okay with it. Booker T's okay with it. It's all in good fun, but it definitely got me. It got me big time.
Yeah, I would say it got me too. I mean, it was unexpected that it was the end in the work, especially knowing Corey Graves and his personality, and thinking that something was actually having a beef with him and Booker T. With his, or at least from what I assumed to be his personality, and especially when saying he's going to fight him if he sees him on the street, sort of comment like that. I don't take that lightly at all. So they got me for sure as well, because I was worried and thinking something would happen, and then in the end it was just for ratings for Booker T's podcast when he had Corey on the show. So I mean, do what you have to do to get views, but still, I think that being a work that was, I don't know, interesting, and just, I don't know, they just got me too. I simply stated as a fact there. Any other news and notes, at least anything you've seen on over the web that I haven't? I might not have seen anything going on news-wise.
Nah, man. I feel like we've got everything down packed for the week. It's one of those what I like to call buffer weeks. One of those weeks where it's nothing much going on, but it's enough to keep that road to WrestleMania strong.
Yeah, it's not like the shows are bad.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
I mean, because you still have Elimination Chamber, you still have Fastlane. I know people have said in the past, let's get rid of these pay-per-views between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Let's just have this whole big road to WrestleMania. And
absolutely not.
And my thought on that is, I am always this way anyways. I am a middle of the road, just as I am in politics. I'm a moderate. And I am also in general thinking of things where I can see both sides. Where I can see the side of, yes, we should have these pay-per-views. We should have these pay-per-views, one for Raw, one for SmackDown, or if there even wasn't a brand split, just a pay-per-view in between, and do a branded and do whatever, and have that. And I understand that side of it, because you want to still have something to be built up to as a pay-per-view, and not have so long of a wait to WrestleMania. But then I also see the other side of, okay, fine though, but if we're just going to have these pay-per-views or pay-per-view between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, and in the end, nothing's really going to change, and nothing epic and crazy. And not everything has to be crazy in every pay-per-view. But point is, no title changes, barely any. If anything, if any title changes do happen, so most of the time, the person gets title back. And it lives up to whatever was supposed to be planned for WrestleMania, because of WWE being what I always say. WWE better have at least their blueprint 6 months before we get to WrestleMania. obviously we're in between that window, and know exactly confirm what they're doing by Royal Rumble. You know, what their plans are for WrestleMania, for all their superstars, for all their matches, for what the card is going to be. You know, have pretty much everything set in stone by Royal Rumble week at the very latest for WrestleMania. So I do see the viewpoint of the people of the W universe that say we should get rid of these pay-per-views or pay-per-view in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, so we can have this long road to said WrestleMania to enjoy this road. Now I know it. If we do that, you know, is the grass greener on the other side? Could it be boring because we are having a slow road to said WrestleMania, even though WrestleMania may be epic with whatever matches are for that year's WrestleMania, and as we already rambled and spoke about what plans are for most matches for this year's WrestleMania, before whatever WrestleMania 34, WrestleMania 52, WrestleMania 127, whatever WrestleMania that we're building up to, and we don't have a pay-per-view or anything like that of an actual pay-per-view, then maybe they would have a special show or a super show of Raw and SmackDown like they used to have once in a while. A super show where you have both brands for one show on a Tuesday taping for Raw and SmackDown together or something like that. But I know you were trying to interject. So what are your thoughts on that on both sides of the aisle of should they have pay-per-views or a pay-per-view between Rumble and Mania, or should they just not do it and have a true long road to WrestleMania?
They should definitely stick with the pay-per-views. Having a long road to WrestleMania from January to April, that's pretty long if you think about it. No pay-per-views, no nothing. What they should do is they should limit the amount of pay-per-views that they have. Don't make it excessive. Don't make it like 3 pay-per-views within there. Make it like 2, you know, and make it branched out. Like, you know, don't make it back to back like they always do every 2 weeks. Within that January to April time span, have one. We have Royal Rumble in January. We have WrestleMania in April. January, February. Let's say February, March. Actually, you know what? Screw that. Make it one pay-per-view. Considering we have January is the Royal Rumble, and then we have April is always WrestleMania. That gives you February and March. Like I just said, you don't want a back-to-back pay-per-view. You don't want it month after month. Why don't you just make a joint pay-per-view for the road to WrestleMania? I mean, that would make sense in my opinion. Having 2 different pay-per-views for 2 different brands, and one of the brands are probably not going to do as well as they will hope. Do the joint pay-per-views, which leads to another thing that I heard. I heard that they're just going to permanently do joint pay-per-views, and they're not going to do the separate pay-per-views because of the lack of sales that they're getting for SmackDown, because SmackDown was a problem from what I heard in regards to ticket sales and everything that's going on. They're bringing back the joint pay-per-views, which in my opinion is okay. I think it's fine, but only certain pay-per-views. I feel like the joint pay-per-views, I mean, the separate pay-per-views worked, but the thing is, though, it's not even the pay-per-views, it's the cards, you know, the match cards. If you have an exciting match card, you have a match card where it's, you know, this is going to be good, you're going to get some results, some feedback from it. It may not be a lot, but it will pile up over time. It's just been sometimes, for SmackDown's case, their match card compared to Raw was just not even close. You know, Raw was destroying them. And then that's when I said earlier in the podcast, earlier tonight, they don't have anybody, they're not building up anybody like that where they can have these great matches. They're not truly building up a person where they could go and main event a pay-per-view. You know, for all I know, the closest person like that is Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin's the only guy I know. Jinder Mahal is in there too. But it's not a lot of people. So it's just it's like a domino effect of situations.
I think with this having dual brand pay-per-views back after WrestleMania or after Backlash, whenever officially it's going to be back moving forward, and just having all the pay-per-views that way, then when at some point are they going to have to end the brand extension? Because if you're going to have dual pay-per-views each and every month anyways, you went back to that format, having one pay-per-view a month, having both shows there together, together as dual branded. At some point, it'll just be again WWE pay-per-views, Raw and SmackDown, just being the shows, or just being the shows, being one WWE, no brand extension anymore, going back to that, which we knew was going to go back at some point. I know whether it was a month ago or whatever, maybe even a year ago, we were hearing of the rumors of the brand extension and Vince McMahon wanting to end that sooner rather than later. I know we talked about that, discussed that. And it seems like maybe the wheels are in motion to that actually happening. Whether the brand extension is still here next year at this time on the road to next year's WrestleMania, or if it's already done so by SummerSlam, I just think that them doing this and having dual brand pay-per-views after Backlash, every pay-per-view is going to be dual branded. Every pay-per-view is going to be one pay-per-view, 3 or 4 hours long, whatever. That then at some point, whenever they plan to in their plans, have the brand extension just not be anymore and have it be that way. Now think about it this way: if they have an end the brand extension, because that's the part of the plan, and they end the brand extension before Money in the Bank, which is supposed to be added to be Big 5, because it was going to be dual branded, but now really everything's going to be dual branded, or at least a bigger show being 4 hours otherwise. Then we don't have to worry about, will there be 4 briefcases, 2 briefcases, this many briefcases, this and that. It'll be just 2 briefcases because the women's championship will be together to one championship. Same, I would say, with the men's. Universal being welded or flushed into the WWE title being the actual visual title there for the men's, and then you have the tag team there too, one tag team title. So having that. So when do they plan to end it, if they plan to end it? Because my thinking is, why decide to have these dual branded pay-per-views moving forward after WrestleMania if you're not going to end the brand extension, if you're not going to bring it all back together, if you're not going to have the separate rosters anymore, whether it's the decline of SmackDown as you spoke of, or whatever other true reason it is there, back to the WWE, of why to make this decision. So I think this decision and this rumor or this confirmation that's going to be happening is, to me, a writing on the wall that at some point in the next year, I would say even under a year, that the brand extension is going to end, and we're going to go back to what it was before. So it'll be interesting to see how that all works out. But I've enjoyed the brand extension for what it was, having the two brands, having the Raw and SmackDown, having what we had a Survivor Series and all this other stuff. I like, the competition of it all between the brands, and even with the fan bases. Some loyal to Raw, some loyal to SmackDown. Even the fans out there. Otherwise, if don't watch Raw, just watch SmackDown. Don't watch SmackDown, just watch Raw. Because they're deep into it. To brand loyalty. And stuff like that. So I certainly have enjoyed this brand extension better than the one previous to it in the WWE's past. But we all should know that it will end at some point. And with this news, I think, to me, it's ending at the earliest SummerSlam and latest after next year's WrestleMania. So it certainly will be interesting to see how that all goes down. Yes. Did you see that video from OTR Central?
Yes, I did. The Jeff Jarrett one?
Yes, sir.
It was hilarious.
I know. I saw Kyron did tweet about him seeing that, and he laughed his ass off. I didn't even know of that rumor that WWE might be putting Double J in the Hall of Fame this year. To be quite honest, I'd be actually kind of shocked if they do that this year, or any in the next couple of years. I just think with somewhat bad, but between WWE and TNA, especially but just most recently with the whole broken gimmick situation between specifically Matt Hardy and WWE. I mean, with Matt Hardy with WWE against TNA and trying to get his rights and everything. I guess that was already settled, and now he has all the rights back of the broken gimmick. So maybe we'll see Broken soon, and we can get rid of this whole Woken thing. But I don't know. I'd be surprised. Would you be surprised if they put Jeff Jarrett in the Hall of Fame?
You know, I kind of would be, to be honest with you. But I mean, I don't know. It just be different, you know. I would be surprised, and I just don't know why. It's one of those really, without truly having an explanation of why. It would be interesting. I really can't explain because it's just nothing much to it. I'd be kind of shocked, and one of those like shocks where you can't really explain yourself. You're just more like, wow, that really just happened. But yeah, I would be a little surprised.
Yeah. Also, I was really hoping for China to be announced. It was announced that it was Ivory to be the female person to be inducted this year for the class of 2018 for the Hall of Fame. I guess they still could have China. They could have two women in there if they designate her as the superstar that passed away. You know, they usually have once a year. And that superstar, you know, after passing, be getting into the Hall of Fame. So there still is a small chance China could still be part of this class. I guess we'll just wait and see. Well, I mean, we have Goldberg being the headliner, so that's awesome. You know, Kurt Angle being the headliner last year, Goldberg this year, so that's pretty cool in that sense. But we'll see if there's still a chance for China. That pretty much is it. I don't see any other news or notes or any other things to be speaking of here as it pertains to WWE. Nothing I see here, anything breaking news or big news otherwise in the wrestling world. So I guess we'll end it there. Thanks to everybody there watching live and archive. We'll throw it over to Mark Ramble so he can promote himself. Or you can find him on social media and also here on YouTube.
Well, you can find me on my YouTube is MFLG Mark Rambo, of course. My Twitter is Mark is Rambo. The M, the I, and the R are all uppercase. My Instagram is Live Like Ram. My Snapchat, I don't even know how to spell it, but it's always in my videos. If you guys want to add me on Snap, I'm always on Snapchat. You can definitely hit that link, and I will add you back. And from there, check out also. I actually am doing a podcast as well. It is not going to be tomorrow like it usually is. If you guys are familiar with it, it is actually going to be scheduled and changed to Saturday. Steve, if you want to join, I will gladly send you the link. It's a change because of the Black Panther world premiere.
Black Panther.
The trailer, the podcast with are going to see it. Originally, I was supposed to see it tomorrow, but yeah, we'll end up seeing it Saturday. So definitely check that out. It will be Saturday, 8:30 or 9. It's usually an hour and 45 minutes. Never really goes anything past that. And yeah, you guys take care.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, maybe I'll. I mean, I don't have anything going on Saturday that I know of at any point. For myself, but yeah, I gotta go back to seeing movies. I got a couple of gift cards for the local cinemas, because at one of our local cinemas here we have a Friday deal, $5 movie day for any of the showings on Tuesday. No, Tuesday, $5 movie day, whether you do a matinee or evening or whatever. $5 get you in the door, free small popcorn and stuff like that. So, you know, go from there. Whether you go by yourself or otherwise. Point is, the last movie I went to see at the theaters was the Emoji Movie.
Oh yeah,
and then the My Little Pony movie. So, My Little Pony, that was good. That was a good movie. I enjoyed that one. The Emoji Movie, I know a lot of people gave it, bad reviews. I know I saw some on YouTube. Andre, the Black Nerd YouTube channel, and other YouTube channels, crapping on it, saying the worst of the year. But I I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. Well, I don't think it was the best of the year, of course, but I don't think it was as terrible as people were saying. There were some good parts, funny parts, actual cool part, this blah blah blah. So I think overall, I thought it was an okay movie. Um, I did also see Justice League, my friend, um, last year. So, but no, most recently there haven't really been any movies that I really wanted to see as of late in the last couple of weeks, or more likely in the last month, of movies coming up. The ones I am looking forward to aren't coming out until a while, and that's The Lion King live action and Aladdin live action. Um, Deadpool coming out. I don't know when that is actually coming out. Um, Black Panther. I've already heard good things about it. Um, but it just, from people able to see it early or whatever, which is my trigger to actually go to theater to see. 50 Shades of Grey movies. I've seen a couple, I've seen one, the first one, but not good enough or interesting to keep me there. But I don't know. I do love movies, but just, I am that guy, and I know I brought it up in the past, whether people care or not. But my favorite movie is 13 Going on 30. That's a movie I can watch all day, every day, along with Godfather series, which is ironic now that I am an actual godfather to a child, to my best friend's daughter, and her godfather. But I guess since we're done talking wrestling, and I know you're already promoting yourself here, but what are your thoughts on movies, latest movies you've seen, your favorites overall all time, or anything like that? I don't mean to put you on the spot. Just wanted to ask since we're talking about this subject.
Ooh, my favorite movie of all time. That's a hard one. I don't know. Um, Man, that's a very difficult question. You got to think. What is a movie I can what is you got to think about it like this. What is a movie you can play right now and still be satisfied?
Mhm.
Ah, man, I truly don't know. Man, I don't know, man. That's hard. Um, Man, I could tell you a TV show, but that's not a movie. Um,
All right, we'll go with TV show then.
TV show, I could definitely say Big Bang Theory. I could turn it on and still be satisfied. The Flash, I could definitely turn it on, even though it's still on now, and I'd still be satisfied.
Yeah.
Um, of course, Raw, because Raw is considered a TV show.
Yeah, technically.
Man, it's a lot, but movies, I really can't give you my favorite movie. I can't even give you a top 5 list right now.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, actually, movies, I could actually definitely say Lion King is in there, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Lion King. I would, if I had to put one or the other, like best Disney one from what I remember from childhood. My favorite one actually was, and still is, because I actually saw in theaters with my sister the live action version of Beauty and the Beast. But the animated version though is still the boss. That one's still, as Sasha Banks' gimmick being legit boss. Being number one. I think that'd be my best or favorite Disney one. That I could see from my preference or my thinking of best movie of all time and what makes it in that category. And that's why 13 Going on 30 is my favorite and best. Is what movie can I keep watching continuously all day and not get bored with it? It's not just being satisfied, but not being bored with, watching it on a loop or whatever. Like I can just continue doing it. For TV shows, I watch so many TV shows currently. Big Bang Theory is one that not only do I love, my family does. And so that's cool, with family. But overall, King of Queens and Friends.
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about that.
So those two, because
George Lopez is actually a very good show too. I could watch that and never get old.
Yeah, George Lopez. Yeah, now I remember that one for different reasons. But yes, that was a good show. Modern Family currently I do enjoy, and others. So, but movie wise, yeah, I know a lot of people are surprised when I say 13 Going on 30 is my favorite. But it is. It just was that good. Um, all in all for that one. But yeah, so what movies have you seen most recently? You know, beyond what you're going to be seeing tomorrow, Black Panther. What other movies have you seen in the past year?
Well, I can give you a rundown of what the movies I will be seeing.
All
I'll
right.
definitely be seeing Black Panther. I'll be seeing Avengers, Infinity War. I'll be watching Venom. All the good stuff. I'm a big
Hmm.
superhero guy, so pretty much any superhero movie that will be out, I'll be seeing it. But the movies I've previously seen, I've seen Justice League. I've seen it was a movie. And this is just not even in the superhero realm. The Mountain Between Us. That was a fairly oddly interesting yet pretty good movie all at the same time. Um, I truly haven't really been to the movies like that in a while, but the last time I went there, it was Justice League, and that was surprisingly disappointing considering what they could have done with
Mm-hmm.
that, and they didn't. But yeah, it is. It's been pretty good.
Cool, cool. All right.
Justice League was the last movie I seen, and that was okay.
Yeah. Oh, anyways, everybody, well, follow me on Twitter at WWE_podcast, or subscribe to both our channels. Yeah, maybe Saturday if you want. Send me a link to your podcast episode and just join in. And from there. But anyways, let's get the show on the road. If I can actually cue this up correctly, get this all set up. Hope everybody has a great rest of your evening. I will be back here tomorrow for my Riverdale review. Life in Pieces will be returning in March. So I'll be doing that. Then my NFL podcast is not returning until we get to NFL draft week. So the week of the NFL draft in late April. So that's when that show's coming back. So I have my Wednesdays are open now. And at least for the next weeks, Thursdays are open. So at least for the next week, 2 weeks. Not Thursday, but Friday for one of the videos because Life in Peace is not coming back till later or early March. But anyways, above all else, as always, take care.
Peace.